Is VAR ruining football? Hello there guys and welcome back to Sports Circle, the only multi-sports channel here exclusive to YouTube, and today's video is That Was Football, where I'll take a look at this weekend's Premier League results and give my honest opinions. So let's start back with Saturday's matches and the lunchtime game, which was Arsenal and Burnley, and that was a 2-1 Arsenal win. There was no really big dramas in this game. Obviously, Aubameyang scored the winner, and I thought Arsenal looked okay, but I think if Arsenal are going to be competing for the top four, I think they need to sort out defensively. David Luiz made his debut alongside Socrates, but really it wasn't something that would fill me with confidence if I was an Arsenal fan. Obviously, Ashley Barnes equalised for Burnley before Aubameyang scored the winner. I watched the game. I would say it was pretty uninspiring if I was an Arsenal fan. Obviously, you got Caballas on loan from Real Madrid that put a good shift in middle of the park. But really, if I was an Arsenal fan with the business you've done, I would be uninspired with your football that you played on Saturday. And then on the flip side, if you're a Burnley fan, you would probably be pretty happy going into that game, probably expected to lose. So on the whole, I don't think it was that bad, really. So a good solid opening to the season for Arsenal, back-to-back victories. Now, next we have Aston Villa and Bournemouth. I think this one was had a few VAR hot spots, if you want to call them that. And then Bournemouth had a penalty, I think it was in the first 15 seconds or something, and they scored that, and they was in control of the game really, from what I understand. Didn't watch this game live, but I have a few people that follow Aston Villa, and they was a bit disappointed really, because I think in their minds, being a newly promoted team, they want to sort of get points off teams in and around them, and they see sort of Bournemouth as one of their teams where they should be getting points, particularly at home. I think that was the thing that annoyed Aston Villa fans the most really, that they dropped points at home to a team in their minds who they should be beating. And for Bournemouth, I think they've had a solid start, 4 points. Obviously drew with Sheffield United last weekend, and got their Premier League account up and running now with your away win. So good solid start for Bournemouth. Harry Wilson scored a good goal. I didn't mention that bit, but yeah, all in all, I think a good solid start for Bournemouth. Then we had Brighton and West Ham, a game I did watch. I think Brighton were a bit unlucky really. I think they should have scored at least 3 goals. Of course, they had one chalked off by VAR, which was controversial, was it? It depends how you interpret the offside. Was Dan Burn active when the initial free kick was put into the box? I'm not sure. Having said that though, I think on the whole this weekend VAR has been good. We'll get to the Man City game a bit later, where maybe there's some faults with the VAR. But going back to the Brighton game, I thought that it was a good solid game. Brighton, as I say, was unlucky. They had one chalked off for VAR, a Trossard volley. They was all over West Ham, I would say, bar in the first 15 minutes West Ham attacked them, and then West Ham took the lead via Hernandez on the break. Not a lot Brighton could have done about that goal really, because they haven't got much pace at the back. And then Trossard scored a legitimate goal, and that was 1-1. Then we had Everton and Watford. Watford's on a dreadful run, aren't they? I think they've lost their last 5 Premier League games going back to last season, and also they started off last week with a 3-0 home defeat to Brighton. So not the best for Watford. Everton, again, another team, solid start, 4 points, can't argue with that. Then probably one of the most surprising results of the season, I would say, was Norwich beating Newcastle 3-1. I don't think many people expected that really, and in particular a Timmy Pukki hat-trick. I think he sort of was a bit of a laughing stock when Norwich signed him last season. They wasn't expecting much from him, and he's probably turned out to be one of the best free transfers in their history. Newcastle, well, we all know the problems there with Mike Ashley. Is he going to sell the club? Is he not? And their fans aren't particularly happy at the moment, as you can understand. Their new record signing, Joe Linton, I thought he absolutely missed a sitter in the first half. It was a header from about 7 yards out and he didn't even hit the target. So Newcastle fans, let me know what you think in the comments. Are you worried about goal scoring since you've obviously lost the likes of Jose Perez and Solomon Rondon? And how are you feeling? Do you think you'll stay up, or do you think the best thing for your club is to get relegated and then that might lead to the end of Mike Ashley? Let me know down below what you think, Newcastle fans. And then we had, a game full of mistakes really. Southampton and Liverpool. Danny Ings scored against his old club for Southampton. Liverpool, again, off to a good start. 6 points from a possible 6 points. So, they're riding high at the top of the league at the moment, as I'm sure their fans expect them to. A dreadful mistake by Adrian, trying to play out from the back. I think a few West Ham fans probably recognise that them sort of mistakes when he was at West Ham. He's a great shot stopper, but I'm not sure he is necessarily a good goalkeeper with his feet and playing out from the back. Then we had probably the most controversial game of the day, rounding off Saturday's games, and that is Man City 2, Tottenham Hotspur 2. A game that I thought was probably the best game I've seen in a while, really. Both teams attacked each other. I would say Tottenham probably was a bit fortunate to end up with a draw, VAR aside, but they was really under the cushion the first half. Man City started like you would expect them to at home, and they went 1-0 up, and it got pulled back to 1-0, 2-1 up, pulled back to 2-0, and then in the last minute, Gabriel Jesus thought he won it, didn't he? I believe it was a corner, and it flicked Otamendi's hand, I think it was, on the way through. But really, watching the replay back, you couldn't really tell if it was Otamendi's hand or if it was the centre back. It fell to Jesus. He slotted it in the back of the net. Man City fans in hysteria, and then VAR pulled it back for handball. Very reminiscent of the Champions League semi-final about 3 or 4 months ago. Now, moving on to Sunday's games, yesterday's games, probably two of the most uninspiring Super Sunday games to watch. It finished Sheffield United 1, Crystal Palace 0 in the lunchtime game. A good win for Sheffield United, don't get me wrong. Another solid team with a solid start, 4 points. It wasn't really for the purists, if I would say. But yes, they nicked it 1-0. Crystal Palace they're looking a bit dodgy, aren't they? Maybe reminiscent of when Frank de Boer took over. They're not playing football very well at all. Roy Hodgson's got a big job on his hands if he wants to keep him in the Premier League, in my opinion. And then the later game was Chelsea and Leicester 1-0. I thought Leicester was unlucky. Great performance from Brendan Rodgers' men. Obviously, Mason Mount scored his first Chelsea goal, which was very good. A lot of people are comparing him to Frank Lampard, so that'd be interesting to see how he goes there. I know he done well for Derby on loan last season, and then Leicester equalised through Ndidi, who gave the mistake away for Mason Mount's goal, really. But I thought Leicester was unlucky. James Maddison missed the gilt-edged chance right at the end, but there wasn't really much goal action apart from the 2 goals scored. So, VAR, is it right for football? Is it ruining football? Or is it the rules? Well, the handball rule has recently changed, and if it hits an attacker's arm unintentionally, or intentionally even, the goal's disallowed, but if it hits the defender's hand in the box, it's not a penalty. I think that changed in regards to the Women's World Cup, where there was a lot of accidental handball, shall we say, and that was getting penalised for a penalty. So maybe that rule needs revisiting, I don't know. But I would say it's not VAR's fault, they're just following the rules. Maybe the rules need to have a look into. Anyway, let me know, is VAR good or bad for football? Let me know who you support and how your team got on this weekend. Most importantly, don't forget to like this video, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I shall see you next time.